Hello and welcome to another edition of the Spiritual Medicine Digest. This week's topic is the new story of money. But before I go on about our topic today, if you're new to my channel, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button, maybe the notification bell, so every time I do a new video, you will be notified. So, the new story of money. Well, I, for one, have been doing some reading. In fact, here is this big tome of a book. Actually, it's a faster read than the 500 some pages that it contains. It is called Sacred Economics by Charles Eisenstein. Now, I have to say, the word economics used to kind of cause me to run away in the other direction. I mean, growing up, I respected money for sure, but I don't know, I just had some aversion to talking about money. Maybe it was because people argued about money, like whether it be grandparents or parents or whatever. And I think I was given a lot of like jewelry when I was growing up or as a child. So because in Chinese society and in culture, that's what you did. So you gifted the women, this is traditional, you gifted the women with jewelry, so the girls with jewelry, because this is what was explained to me, so just bear with me here. Because if your husband were to leave you in the future and you had no money and no way to earn an income, then you could sell your jewelry. And you know what? That's what people did. In fact, that's what my maternal grandmother did. So my maternal grandfather, well, he wasn't the most responsible person on the planet. He'd be out, let's just say, gambling and doing other things that possibly weren't conducive to a wonderful family life. So my grandmother did have to sell a lot of her jewelry just to feed my mother and her two siblings. So yeah, so money comes with a lot of baggage in many families, and there are lots of stories I'm sure that even you can tell around the topic of money and family and strife and that kind of thing. But what if it is the story of money or the story of the people that causes money to be this kind of instrument of stress and sometimes destruction, right? There's a lot of things being done in the world, supposedly by people who are wealthy, that are not for the highest and greatest good of the planet or of the people. And here's the thing, I always thought it was just really strange how people coveted, diamonds and gold and silver and all these kinds of things. And even recently, there are many people that are, a lot of influencers and things like that are really suggesting that people go back to gold-backed currencies or, go back to gold. So buy gold, save gold, silver, that kind of thing. And there was just something within me that was just like, eh. I thought maybe it was because, as a child, I got a lot of gold jewelry. Maybe I devalue it because of that. But it wasn't until I read this part in Sacred Economics about gold that I was like, yes, this is exactly why I feel the way I do. And basically, and actually, I heard this line in one of the TV shows called The Witcher, and the Princess Ciri actually says it at some point in the last season, something about her kind of in a disgusting kind of way. She's like, oh, what's all with all this gold? Gold only has value because of the value we give it, or of what value we actually give it. And it really dawned on me that is really true. Now, of course, you could argue with me. That's fine. You have your opinion. It's completely fine. I always used to say, well, okay, well, gold has value because we say gold has value, but literally, I can't eat it, I can't plant it, I can't grow it. And yes, I could exchange it, but there's a lot of other things I could exchange as well. So, am I truly wealthy if I have a vault full of gold? Did it make me feel wealthy to even think that? Not really, not really. So the old story of money is based on a system that is unsustainable. It's based on economic growth. And what happens with unchecked growth? You get a tumor, right? Now, eventually, that tumor either kills the organism if it goes unchecked, or it dies itself because it runs out of resources. We don't have enough things on the planet to convert into money anymore. And that's one of the things that Charles Eisenstein is saying in his book, Sacred Economics. He's putting a lot of pieces together for me. And like I said, any book that said the word economics on it, I kind of shied away from. But I got to say that the word sacred in front of the word economics, it got me to pay attention. And I'm really glad it did. Because as I'm reading through this book and seeing how the current system cannot sustain itself, and it's either going to collapse soon or a little bit later, but as it collapses later, there is a lot of damage that can be done. So why not shift ourselves, especially the sensitive souls? It is, you that have come down and incarnated in this body, in this on this planet at this time to make a shift. Why aren't we at the forefront of changing the story of the people, and thus the story of money? So let me read you a little bit. And by the way, there is a Creative Commons copyright here, so I am allowed to read this to you. This is from page 194. So that's as far as I've gotten so far. So I can't, say that I'm an expert at sacred economics, but I am fast becoming much more aware of the money system, where it's at and why it's not sustainable, why it'll probably fizzle out, and then we can actually be prepared in a positive way. Because do we still have value if we don't have a cent to our name? I would argue, yes, we have a lot of value. Okay, so let me read this part to you. Okay, so the sacred economy of the future will bear the following characteristics. It will restore the mentality of the gift to our vocations and economic life. And he explains more about, what that is in the book, so I won't go into that right now. It will reverse the money-induced homogenization and depersonalization of society. I got to tell you that's true. It's one thing to, for me to buy, ham from the farmer's market from Michelle, right? Or the bok choy from Eli, right? From the farmer. And a whole different thing when I buy something on Amazon. I have no idea who made it, right? No idea. Next, it will be an extension of the ecosystem, not a violation of it. How many things do we do, supposedly with money, that violate nature, right? That strip nature of what is, really what is valuable to all, like clear-cutting forests and all sorts of garbage and pollution, all these kinds of things, right? Okay, sacred economy of the future will bear this characteristic. It will promote local economies and revive community. Love that. It will encourage initiative and reward entrepreneurship. Yay! It will be consistent with zero growth, interesting, yet foster the continued development of our uniquely human gifts. He makes a point earlier in the book about how, things that are not monetized aren't considered valuable. So a lot of times if, and we joke about this sometimes in the light medicine community, right? So we do like weather magic, we shift a hurricane or something like that. It's like, we don't get paid for that. There's no monetary value. Say, oh, that was worth $2 billion, Dr. Karen, for you and your angel team and your light medicine community doing that. There's no money associated or associated with that. So same thing with, every community having clean water, right? Or growing your own food. Like, that is not considered part of the economic formula. And therefore, even if you had tons of that in our current system, it is not respected and counted as something valuable. Okay, it will promote an equitable distribution of wealth. It will promote a new materialism that treats the world as sacred. Love that. It will be aligned with political egalitarianism and people power, and will not induce more centralized control. Love that too. It will restore lost realms of natural, social, cultural, and spiritual capital. And most importantly, it is something that we can start creating right now. Yeah. So he does make the argument in the book that, yes, people are like, well, money's an energy, it's a tool. that's not wrong. But what he makes, in his essay in the book is like, okay, so we can change our consciousness. We can connect to money in a positive way. And that's something that, I can help you with, right, with TOLPAKAN healing. However, there is inspired action for us to take still. And that may mean taking real world, three-dimensional action. So consciousness, spiritual action, and real world action, but they're not separate. In other words, forcing yourself to divest yourself of all savings, of getting rid of your house and living on the street. I mean, that's not what we're talking about. No. How does that use your gifts, right? So it's this balance between elevating our consciousness, but also getting off our butts based on that consciousness and the guidance that we receive from Source, what to do next. Like, for example, a while back, oh gosh, it's over a year now, right? 2 years, whatever it was. Anyway, I used to go to this particular natural food store in town. And what happened was, one of the co-owners, friend of mine, I had said to her, hey, look, I would love for you to know that there is no scientific data or proof that doing this to, in your store, especially to children, is any help at all in preventing the spread of what, and in fact could be really harmful. And I'm happy to give you this link, to help you with that. So I would really love to support your business, continue giving you that support ongoing, and I would like you to change your policies, because the whatever the state says, it's actually not a law, not a rule. They can't actually come after you with money, and fines, even though they can threaten you, because it's actually not legal what they're doing. So anyway, my understanding is that, my friend, and she's, a beautiful person, my friend said, no, we're just going to continue asking people to put coverings over their face. And that was the end of that conversation. So I thought, okay, well, there must be a light to this seemingly unfortunate circumstance. And what it got me to do is it got me to think, okay, well, that's convenient. Just go down to the store, and yes, I might pay double for coconut milk, but you know what? I want to support this person's business. But now I'm like, okay, well, I'm back to buying coconut milk at the grocery store. However, what about the other things that I purchased there, the fresh food, which normally come from the local farmers? Well, I'm like, well, let's go direct. So I ended up finding a way and figuring out, oh my gosh, there is a winter farmers market. There's a summer farmers market, of course. And so I started going to farmers markets more regularly and actually supporting many, many more people and the farmers in my community because of this inconvenience of not going to the store and sticking to my guns or about the science and things like that. And I didn't want to support, something that was non-scientific, illegal, and harmful to children. So that really gave me some opportunities to connect with the farmers and really appreciate them even more than I did before. And so it was a beautiful set of circumstances. So we can take inspired action based on who we really are. And I'm not saying that whether you put a face covering over your face or not, I did at some point, right, until I realized, hey, the data doesn't support it, right? It's completely fine. It's your body. You do whatever you want, with it. So what I'd love to do right now is to do a TOLPAKAN Healing Activation to see if we can shift our energetic relationship to not just money, but our story, the people's story, and the people's story and the money story, to shift it into that new paradigm of a new world, a new sacred economy. And even that, just say the words out loud, sacred economy. Like, it feels different, right? Like, I feel it in my body. It feels really different. So to activate and to connect to that energy instead, so that we can build this new world together, each of us, step by step, person by person, community by community, and really be there for each other. So when the current system goes bye-bye because it's not sustainable, we have a foundation And we're not going to, be lost in the chaos and feeling alone. We're going to be actually go back to helping each other, neighbors, friends, you know what I mean? So anyway, even if we don't know the form of exactly what it's going to look like, let's maybe do some activation and healing so that we don't fear the future. How about that? So if you are interested in changing your money story personally as well as globally, you can just make the intention to receive as we do the TOLPAKAN Healing Activation. Let's get into stillness through observing internal movement right now. That's a way in which we can go through a doorway into the 0-point field. So I like to do it by first activating some energy in the body. Rubbing the hands is a great, easy way to do it because you feel some heat between the hands, activate the chi and energy flow, and then relax. And if it's safe for you to do so, go ahead and close your eyes. Focus on the inside of your body at the level of your hands. Feel any energy or movement, heat, waves, tingles, and then follow that flow wherever it goes in the body. No judgment, just let it be there. Continue following the flow throughout the TOLPAKAN Healing Activation, which I will say out loud right now. I now command that your relationship with money, the money system, and the story of money be healed and optimized in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with ease, speed, and grace. Thank you. It's now commanded that your new relationship with the new story of money, sacred economy, be optimized to 100% in the highest and best way, all directions of time, with ease, speed, and grace. It's now commanded that any fear around the topic of money or economics or sustainability or lack of sustainability, all of those fears be deleted, dissolved, and uncreated. The wholes filled with the highest vibrations of love and light. And replacing it, the energies of faith, trust, love, prosperity, community. I now command this be downloaded and activated with ease, speed, and grace in all timelines where you exist, where relevant and allowed in the highest and best way. Thank you. Okay, so we did some healing related to relationship, to money, the money story, the story of the people, erasing the fear related to the inevitable shift that is coming in our lifetime. You know that saying, it's all good? It really is. And by the way, we have some announcements today. Light Warrior Radio Show, we have my friend and actually Sacred Economy soul brother, TerrenceLamont Bellows, talking about immortality consciousness. And I'd love for you to listen to the show, because if you do, or did, I should say, have some fear around, the future, chaos, no money, oh my gosh, this may be really, really helpful for you to listen to the show. So in the show, we're going to talk about what immortality consciousness is not, and that's what it is. And then unraveling the truth behind the saying, God wins. I did ask Terrence some tricky questions that he did not know I was going to ask him. So I think you'd really enjoy some of that conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about the real deal with the law of attraction. Also embracing our connections to the infinite and the nothingness. Okay, and unveiling the purpose of human pain and experiences. So we talked about a whole gamut of things I think you'd be very interested in. So I will put the link below this video. The podcast airs Monday at 12 noon Eastern. If you can't make it live, you can definitely click the link. It'll be archived for you there. And the second announcement is that we have some cool stuff, new stuff to share. Number one, I did kind of a spontaneous workshop the other day called Prosperity and Community, the Elemental Journey, where we went through the elements of fire, air, earth, and water. It is something you participate in. So if you weren't able to make it live, there is a workshop replay for the next several days. I think it's through Wednesday that it is available for. And in there we talk about prosperity, we talk about the elements and how going through an elemental journey step by step can actually activate and accentuate your path to that prosperity and actually sacred economy. So if you're interested in that, click the link below. And if you're not part of the Light Medicine community, you will need to be before you can access that particular workshop replay. So there is a free link below as well if you're brand new and would like to join the community of like-minded, high-spirited, high-vibe people. So the other announcement, very important, is my mentor, Marcus Bird, is having his 3-hour Supercharge Your Healing Abilities workshop on Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern, and that is on August 4th. I will be there with bells and whistles on. I have taken his this particular workshop multiple times and continue to, because every time he does it differently. And this time is going to be really cool because he's going to be talking about sacred geometry. It rhymes, right? Sacred economy, sacred geometry. Anyway, so by the way, Marcus is in the sacred economy movement too, so fair enough that I get mixed up. So sacred geometry in how it manifests and into material reality, and how it helps you with healing and supercharging your healing abilities. So if you're into sacred geometry, you definitely want to be in on this workshop. And the really cool thing is it's choose your contribution. Yes, so you can choose between, I think, $1 and $97, something like that, whatever it is you wish to contribute. And it's usually super fun. Like I said, I will be there, so I hope to see you there live as well. And if you can't make it, still register, because there will be a limited time, 7-day or 5-day, whatever it is, replay. It's well worth it. I love it. And I'm actually in his Activator Healer Coach program, graduating from that, and just wonderful awarenesses that complement TOLPAKAN healing so well. The specifics about sacred geometry, so cool. Anyway, hope to see you there. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next week. And remember, if you haven't yet done so, go ahead and hit subscribe. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And then please put in the comments what it was like for you to receive those money activations. All right, until next time, bye for now.